In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Surviving together, victorious. Never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey guys. Well, geez, that didn't work well, now did it? How you doing? You didn't know you landed here at Surviving Together. Happy to have you as part of our SAS community today. I'm going to try not to look at myself too much because there is a slight delay. So I hear the words coming out of my mouth, and then I see my lips moving like a half a second too slow. It's really weird. So, Crystal, so good you're here. It looks like you are the only one here right now, but that's okay. And I am so sorry. Hey, Deidre, good to see you. Crystal, I am so sorry that I have not contacted you yet. I have been so busy. So much has gone on around here. Wow. It's a little insane. So I'm trying to get there. I just got put on a new case yesterday, and golly, it's due Thursday at close of business. I love it when they tell you that like 2 days into the work. I would have liked to have known that before. But anyway, if you didn't know, Surviving Together here, we are a safe space for sexual assault survivor and other trauma survivors to come together and connect, learn, and heal. So if that sounds like you, or you're interested in learning about trauma in general, or the special kind of trauma that happens to sexual assault survivors, stick around. We definitely cover that. Deirdre, I'm an attorney, and I work in the discovery phase, probably the easiest way to say it. So before trial, when the parties need to exchange documents as part of their discovery process. If it's a big enough case and there's tons of documents to look at, some counsel can't handle that in-house, and so they farm it out to a third party. And that third party would be people like myself and others who will work on a project for them. So it's mainly all civil cases. Usually, corporate civil liability. It can be at times, Deirdre, it can be a little stressful. It's mainly when we have our deadlines like this that it is kind of like, whoa, okay, we got to get going. And it's frustrating when you want to move faster and the documents keep getting longer and longer. Hang on, I'm going to move this again. It's not, this seems a little better. I think I might have to lighten this or change my lighting here eventually. What do you guys think of the new avatar, by the way? Haven't talked about that and haven't asked. Our new Surviving Together avatar. Since Kim over at My Other's Keeper actually had the arm crosses, and we both chose them not knowing about it with each other, probably several weeks apart from each other. It was very hilarious. But I was never married to mine either. So I could get a giant ring light that the kids have these days. My son was just talking about some lights for his room the other day. I'm wondering if that's what he was talking about. And Crystal, I did read your text. I'm just not, reading it, for the general population. That's all. But we definitely need to speak. You like the avatar? Good. I like it too. I'm not sold on the gray, but the gray background, but we couldn't really, there wasn't anything else that looked good. So it's a process, right? Maybe the avatar changed again. I don't know. We'll see. I just kind of came across that and I liked it. But I had some other ones that I was thinking about originally. And I think we might end up going back to that. Or going to that, I should say, because we've never actually totally put one together the way I was thinking. So I don't know. We'll see. It's, everything is still rolling out. And that's why this stream originally was called What's Next? And now I said Ask Anything because I was not expecting to have to be working after this tonight and working quite a long day tomorrow. So that's kind of how it, the ring lights. David was just talking about one of those. Yes. And he was showing me a few. Okay, that's what okay. Got it. Thanks, Audrey. Yes. Um, it's that and a projector that I need to get. I need like a little home projector instead of using the TV. It just would be so much easier based on the setup that I have. So let's see about doing that. They're like $50. If you can get them on sale. So for just a small one. I don't need it to be, high definition. I don't need it to be, I just need to be able to play a decent picture. I'm not going to critique the color pixelation or anything. So you get migraines from light. Yikes. That yeah, you would not be comfortable in that, would you? I only get light induced migraines when I'm out in the sun and I don't have sunglasses on, or I have extremely poor fitting sunglasses and the light is still able to shine in. I will feel okay while I'm in it. And as soon as I get out, that thud will start and I can feel it just starting to go, gosh, Nikes. I was out too long without eye protection. Crystal, you like the avatar as well? Cool. Well, we're going to keep it for a while until I figure something else out. I've got some other ideas for things. And I know I've got so many ideas floating through my head with things about the channel. And I just simply haven't had the time or haven't made time to do some more things with the channel. And I have to give myself grace because there's so many things I want to do. And I truly in my soul want to do them. But I just haven't been able to get them accomplished yet. Other things keep popping up in front of it. That's why I always want to make sure that I have these lives because you guys are so important. But building the channel is, just going to take time in terms of, what is going on in the rest of my life. And it's been a bit crazy. And that does sound like hell, Deaudrey. Trying to avoid light in your eyes. So you love it when like somebody jokes around and shines a flashlight in your eyes for a while, right? It's like a really funny joke to you. It's true, Crystal. There is. And I think some of it is I hate that my chin is like right at the cutoff mark here. Hang on, guys. I gotta sit up taller. You've been sitting too much when you bruise your tailbone. I have a butt pillow. And so there we go. That's a little better. Yay! Now you actually see my face. Nobody would dare do that to you. I would hope not. I would hope not. It would be that one person who thought it was hilariously funny and didn't know that you were like, when you were going, no, 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 that you were like truly serious. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just all kinds of today. Trying to wake up a little bit more to work. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about the channel, and you guys know how I've talked about taking this full time and doing so much more with it. And I've really been kicking myself for not doing, because I have outlines. I mean, believe me, I have so many things that I want to do and outlines about doing them. And it's not lack of material or anything. It's a lack of motivated time. I'm going to put it that way. I'm not going to say lack of time, because I do have free time that I could be doing this. I'm doing something else instead. And right now, I've decided that that is more important to me, because most of what I'm doing is spending time with my best friend while he's here and laughing my butt off nightly. And I need that. I think we all need laughter in our life. That's why we did the laughter one. It's why Saturday we are going to be doing or next Saturday, we are going to be doing the Sunday Fun Day on the Saturday. And we're going to laugh together, I hope. I know you guys were both watching the other one that we did. Not the thing on laughter is the best medicine, but just our laughter time. And did you find most everything funny, or at least amusing? That was my goal. Nobody messaged me and said anything was offensive. So as long as I've made that, if you kind of go to the story, as long as you weren't offended, it's all I care about. And I do want you to laugh. So if nothing was amusing, I need to know that too. But so we've got just over a week. So let me know too if something bothered you, if you want something in particular, let me know. Yeah, my migraines, I have to turn the light off. That'll be the one thing, as you're walking around trying to, get your medicine and get some water. I get my ice pack and, so I'm walking around like this, like, those barely slits or whatever. And just by the way you hold your eyes and your face, people look at you and go, you don't feel good, do you? And it's like, no, I don't. Definitely not. I'm not feeling good. You're hard to offend. You have a funny story about that if you have the airtime. I sure do. Diageo, would you like to come up here and share some visual and or vocal space with me? You're certainly welcome. I can send you the link, or you may type your little heart out in the chat. Either is fine with me. Right now, I am monkeying with my microphone that does not want to stay up. No, thanks. That is true, Crystal. Everyone does have their own sense of humor, and I know that I'm not going to be able to please everybody. I'm sorry, guys. Cords are just driving me nuts. But there's one cord I know not to touch, right? My HDMI cord, because then it blacks me out, and I'm really trying to have a goal. I should have one of those things, like, the safety numbers, like factories. It's been so many days since we've had an accident. Mine's going to be like, it's so many days since I unplugged us again. Yeah, if you want to come on, you don't have to show your face. It could actually just be a black screen and you can just talk. Misha does that sometimes. And that's how she does her own channel. She doesn't have the video on for herself. So, but I have a feeling she's typing her little heart out right now because that's why we're not hearing from her. That's all right. Crystal, what's your back to work date? I know that's given you some heartache. Heartburn is more what I was going to say. I know it's a lot of anxiety filled with that, and I'm wishing you the best. I just realized 10/1 was next week. Flipped my lid over that yesterday. I'm not ready to be 52. It's just, I don't have a problem with age in general or aging myself. I don't like the fact that, like, this jowl thing. I really like my face back the way it was without the descending jowls. I said, this is like my biggest criticism is that. Let's see. I'm going to put this up too so people can. I keep reaching for the mouse that I don't have plugged into this particular computer, so drive myself nuts. Jerry said she used to teach an ethics course, which had a section of humor. To teach the course, we needed to come up with offensive jokes to use as examples. So I've heard a lot and told a lot. Wow. That's interesting. Judge, where were you teaching this? Was this at like a high school or college, or you probably go back the fifth? Well, that's good. I think this will work perfectly. You go back for your first shift, be 4 hours, get back, decompress. We have a live in the afternoon that is our funny time. And hopefully you'll end the day on a high note. So cross my fingers for you, okay? And what I will do, as long as I am able to, let me see how the weekend shapes up, and maybe we can carve some time out around the live, and with your go back date. So for next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. Hey, Todd, what's up? How you doing? How you feeling? I know you've been under the weather a little bit. Guy was testing jokes on you. Tell offensive jokes in the office and then rush out. Feeling 50-50? Well, it's better than 20-80. We'll take it, right? We've all got our days. Today was a little weird. I got up this morning and I was like, okay, let's go to work. And then I was like, oh, crap, I got court this afternoon. And working and watching the clock and trying to get, and then coming back from that and then having to work some more. And it's just been a weird day, bad day today, raining here. It rained the very, very west part of Michigan yesterday a lot, but it skirted north of us. Like, if I'm like right here, and it just kept going, it was kind of hugging the coastline and then went up north of us. So it wasn't so bad. What's wrong, Todd? Is it your heart or your stomach or just mental stuff in general? You finally did get offended though, Audrey? Well, good for you for having thick skin when it comes to that kind of stuff. Yeah. I won't say that I have thick skin. But like if it's a racist joke or something like that, my son and his friends, which included all the black friends that he had, did spend a good portion of their younger high school years trying to come up with or coming up with and just repeating extremely racist jokes to each other. Why they thought this was fun, I don't know. But the ones that he found the funniest are the ones that he would bring home. And I would be like, huh. I mean, they just don't. I'm not into that kind of humor. So to me, none of it was humorous. He was very disappointed. Ooh, the rain sets things off. Ouch, everything hurts. I get that. I think it was Sunday for me. I woke up and my shoulder hurt again, and it was just oof. But I don't have it like other people have it, and I'm so grateful. And I'm so sorry. I would give you one of my peanut butter brownies if I could. And that's saying a lot because these brownies are like, we don't give them to anybody. We actually made them with extra. Okay, so it's peanut butter cookies mixed with peanut butter cookie mix, and brownie mix. Put them together in the brownie pan, and we put a pureed banana in there too, and an extra half cup of peanut butter. They're really good. We had no idea how it was going to turn out. If the center was like a goopy mix, we really did not care because it's chocolate and peanut butter, and I really don't think you can get a better combination than that. Tell me if you're doing sweets. My son does not like sweets very much. He takes after his dad. Obviously, does not take after me because I would eat any sweet in frickin' town. Yum. Yeah, David and I were having a little fun last night. Well, I was having fun mentioning stuff, and he cooks, and then I'm kicked out of the kitchen for the duration of the cooking. But I came back when I smelled the brownies, and I was like, like 9 o'clock at night, and we're shoving brownies face. And then he locked me out of the pan. Evil. No, it was good of him to lock me out because I probably would have just kept eating last night. And today I've only had one. I'm so proud of myself. So proud of myself. You're welcome, Todd. Yes, I would definitely send you one of my brownies. They're a little crumbly, but very delicious. And it's interesting because we found that if you use, I think it works better when you use like the fudge-like brownies, the ones that are a little denser versus the ones that are like cake-like brownies. That's the kind of mix I had this time. So they're fluffier. And so we felt comfortable adding, more things to it. And it is. They turned out great, and they're tasty. They're just like a big cake, less like a brownie. It's still delicious though. So I entitled this Ask Anything or What's Next earlier because I just wanted to kind of take a day and take a breather, take a pulse, see how we're all doing. Fast approaching. My ex's birthday is on Friday. It was just regular, like Jif type peanut butter. So yes, it is salted, but it wasn't a specific like salted peanut butter or specialty peanut butter or anything like that. That would be really good too. I'm gonna get it so you can have like when it's almost done or something, and then put some peanut butter on it so it kind of just swirls in it and melts. So just have like melted peanut butter. The day I found out that you could actually put peanut butter in the microwave and melt it was a very bad day for caloric intake. Okay, the next couple months afterwards were very bad. Because if you like apples and peanut butter, take a really good glob of peanut butter and stick it in the microwave for 20 seconds. And it melts just perfect. And then it's yummy. And if you put it on your ice cream, it actually stays hot for a little while. So it's like, or at least warm. It doesn't immediately like freeze over because it hit the cold, which I actually expected it to. So I expected it to like congeal basically into regular peanut butter immediately with it, but it didn't. Very good. Very yummy. Oh, you do? Yeah, that's right. When is your appointment, Crystal? I know you've been looking forward to seeing these specialists for a long time, so I'm hoping that they're able to give you some answers. Todd, best to you. I hope that you feel better tomorrow too. Tomorrow is a new day, and hopefully the rain will have moved out and you feel a little bit better in the morning. So hugs and love to you early. Mwah. Rest up. Peanut butter and chocolate. I don't know if you guys see it overseas, but if you remember back in the 90s, they had those, you got your peanut butter and my chocolate. You got your chocolate on my peanut butter. Do you guys remember those? Peace out, Todd. Have a good one. Oh, you see her Monday morning on the 30th. Okay, so next week. Next week, Monday. Cool. Well, it looks like next Wednesday we're going to have a lot to talk about because I think there's a lot going on for me between, now and then too, just with different things. And David's company should launch, and I'll be a year older. I'm okay. Reese's. Yes, the Reese's commercials. I can imagine that that's a little overwhelming to Audrey, being in a totally new country and having to find a GP and a psychiatrist. Do you have anybody, either friend in Ireland who can help walk you through this, or somebody, with the insurance program? Or I'm not sure how they do it over there, if it's an insurance program or do you have insurance individually? I gotta imagine they've got something like, Yelp reviews or whatever for the doctors. You have to get health insurance. Okay. So then looking through for the doctors and psychiatrists, once you get your health insurance, to find out like who's in network and stuff, I have to imagine that they have a ranking system, and then also too, matter of asking around. Asking around for the psychiatrist, might be a little, but for a general practitioner, most people are happy to share their opinion about that. But I would definitely utilize the search engines that I'm sure whatever insurance you end up signing up with will have, and whatever, ranking system there is, or reviews for the doctors. I mean, you could put in, like, I'm not sure where you are, but let's just say, Dublin, like Dublin's best general, general practitioners or something like that. And you can get some information that way. Oh, yes. This sounds like our HMO stuff, where you have a general practitioner, and every specialist you see, the general practitioner has to refer you out to. Pain in the butt, unless, especially nowadays with more Zoom call things, I would hope if you had had an initial session with your GP, initial intake, right? And you talked about all these, whatever specialists you need to see. that then maybe you could just zoom them up if you need something or need a referral out to somebody, him or her, him being generic. So I wish you the best of luck. What, are you still moving around? I thought you moved into a place. Are you not set as to what town you're going to be in? I'm a little confused by the moving around part. I can see that. I can see things being a little old-fashioned and kind of conservative. Oh, so you haven't found a permanent place that you're going to be for a long time. Yeah, Crystal's right. Definitely shop around. Um, you want to get something as soon as possible, especially if you have medication issues, but don't settle. Absolutely don't settle. I mean, if you have to get something and you have to have somebody because you need some medication refills or things of that nature, you get who you can, but then keep searching for that person who you're going to be comfortable with and who gets you, especially if they're going to be responsible for referring you out to the specialists. You definitely want to make sure you get a GP who understands you. Oh, well, that's kind of fun. I mean, being into a couple holiday rentals. So you moved to another rental on the 10th, another holiday rental on the 10th? And my guess is then, so you're still looking for a permanent place. So you have another rental and then for however long, and then that gives you some more time to find a permanent place. That's good. I'm happy to hear that, DeAudrey. I'm happy to hear you're going to put in the effort because it is just so critical. You do not want to be fighting your doctor about things because as much as we try, I mean, doctors still have the status. And I think a lot of us who are older have still a feeling of doctor knows best. And we have to advocate for ourselves so much. And especially if you're in an area where you have a lot of conservative doctors and they're not being very helpful when it comes to mental health issues. You don't want something like that where you're then going to be second guessing yourself because it's in our nature. And if somebody in authority comes and like, you don't need that, or I don't think that that's right, or whatever, then we start going, do I? Maybe I'm just being a baby. Do I, and you don't want to do that. You do not want to put yourself through that. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Hi, Lacey. How are you? Good to see both of you. Young female doctor? Absolutely. That would be awesome. Yeah, just do their search. I'm assuming TELUS Health is something like where they have reviews of doctors or things like that. We have different search engines that have put together basically, doctors' reviews and stuff. And then usually through whatever health insurance you're doing, there is a, search engine, and you can also look that way. But I don't know if they have, I don't think they have reviews. You'll just find the doctors, and then you've got to go look at them separately. I wish you the best, and we'll be thinking very good thoughts for you to be able to get your long-term rental, the place that you're just, going to be at and can feel like home, because I'm certain you don't want to be doing, much of anything since you're just in a short-term rental, and that's got to be frustrating. especially if you've already uprooted your life once. Oh, I can't imagine. But keep up the positive vibes. I know you're going to find a place. I know you're going to find a good doctor because you're not going to settle, and you are going to interview them just as much as if they were, a job interview and you were hiring them for that job. You want to make sure that they're going to be acting on your best interest and on your behalf, and that they truly, truly have your back in regards to that. So there you go. Don't settle. They work for you. Absolutely. Lacey, how are you doing? What's going on with you? I've seen your name pop up occasionally here and there in different places we've been, but I haven't actually spoken to you for a while. Choices limited in regards to the GP. Yeah, I can imagine. It might be. But you interview every single one of them then. And, maybe you'll find a decent one who's willing to refer you out. And you might find that one of those specialists really covers pretty much everything you need. So, like, once you get referred to them, it's, that person is taking care of most everything, and you don't need to go back. That would be the best case scenario. Hey, Janet, what's up? We have not connected. Wow, I am shocked that we have not connected lately. We were just chatting about Deirdre and healthcare in Ireland and how different it is and everything over there. We are just yabbering. Lacey, are you talking to me? People get commenting and I don't know who they're talking to. Oh, Lacey, I'm so sorry. What's going on? Do you need to talk about it? What, I know Spanx over at the Lifeboat just did a two-parter on grief. Did something happen that I missed? Anybody, did somebody die that I don't know about, or I'm not sure why he was going off about grief? Oh, geez. Lacey, I'm so sorry. We're definitely here for you. And I completely listen, a good friend of mine and my bestie who moved in, both of them within the score of, I think, 5 months, lost 5 people. It just is this year. And I don't know what it is, but you are not the first one who I've heard who has lost somebody, and then shortly thereafter, has lost multiple people within a shorter period of time. It's just bizarre. And deaths that have nothing to do with COVID. That's the thing. You kind of expected it, when COVID was going on, but yeah, I'm not on Facebook, so only ever find me on my email. Lacey, that would be an excellent idea, I think, to go to a grief counselor. I mean, if you've got so much that you've just got all these feelings, a grief counselor who knows their stuff can be invaluable. They know the grief process backwards and forwards and can help you through it, and to give you some tips and tools to hopefully make the transition easier. Just know that going through grief is not linear. The 5 stages of grief, you could be at 2 and 4 and then back to 2, and skipping over 3 and skipping through it, and then maybe going back to 3. expect to be all over the place and that's okay. And there's no timeline for healing from grief. Some people think, well, I should be over this by now. You'll be over it when you've had your closure. You're over it when you're over it. And that's just over the grieving process. That doesn't mean we're ever over the loss of somebody. But as the fifth stage of the grief process says, we accepted it. We may always feel that pang, of loss when we think of that person. But hopefully we can also remember all the good times as well and keep them in our hearts and keep that person near. Oh, that's good. Dodger, your therapist is a grief counselor too. That's awesome. Oh, wow. I'm scrolling back over here. I'm not sure who the he is. I'm just reading back up. I'm sorry. Lacey, who is he? The he you refer to. He was going to give me the name. Oh. And he passed before he told you. Yeah, that's more than just losing somebody. You lost somebody who was supposed to give you some important information in your life. And that information, I don't know if that was to help you heal or if you wanted to do something else with that information, but that's rough. That's rough. I don't know where you are in your healing process from being hurt as a kid. I will say this, my own take, the way I have come to look at the universe, at least I try to all the time, is that even though you may have wanted that information, the universe is deciding that's not what you need. Maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, please, so don't take offense to any of it, but maybe what you need is to be able to let it all go. As it's coming back to you, you can certainly work through that. But it's possible that having the identity of that person may have made your healing harder. I don't know. I'm trying to think of why this would have happened this way. And that's the best thing that I can think of off the top of my head. But there's a lot to deal with that. And I do hope you get to somebody. And look, we've got so many offers of people who are offering to meet you either in person or online, and definitely take them up on that. Because what you don't want to do is totally isolate yourself in a time of grief, because you can get lost into a really dark hole, and we don't want that. No, don't be sorry at all. Do not be sorry to come here and dump. That is what we are for. I did not have a specific topic I was talking about today. I was just leaving it up to the universe. See what we're going to talk about. It was an ask anything, talk about anything day. And if this is what you need, then we are here for you. No one in this community ever needs to feel sorry for coming and talking about something negative. or what they perceive as being negative. Let me put it that way. Because to us, it's just your story. It's just what you're going through. And we get it. We may not have been in exactly your shoes, but we know what it's like to be going through this healing. We know what it's like to lose somebody close to you. So absolutely lean on the people that we have here. And by all means, if you can get some professional help, do. Just because they are the experts. We can help you and we can be supportive of you and we can be here for you to talk. But getting guidance from that professional, I think, will do a world to help put things in perspective as well. But lean on, look at all these people. All these people who want to help. Yes. As Janet said, never be sorry. Never be sorry. Email me anytime, survivingtogether@gmail.com. I'm happy to speak with you. I will speak with you either through a means like this, or we can just put each other on the screen and communicate to each other. It's private. It does not get published. We can communicate through email. We could, possibly communicate by phone, depending on your situation and where you are. So definitely, of course, you've got anger and sadness and probably grief and love and burning dislike. I'm not going to say hatred, but just an intense dislike. And you probably could name a gazillion feelings that you've gone through or are going through, with all of this. And that's okay. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. Recognize it. What you don't want to have it do is to affect other people in terms of you're angry at this, and so you don't want to take out anger on somebody else. So allow yourself to feel that feeling. Recognize the feeling. Try and put it in its place. Why am I feeling this feeling? And if you recognize, my anger is from that, sometimes just that recognition, it makes it easier not to project your feelings onto somebody else where they don't belong. That's the thing. We can't choose our family, our blood family. And in the end, they're still mom and dad. And yeah, you may still have love for them. Some people do, some people don't. And it's not for me to, or anyone else to judge. It's how you feel. And however you feel is 100% valid. And how you feel tomorrow could be 100% different. But it's still all valid. They're your feelings. And it's called grief process. And it's a healing process for a reason. Because we have to go through all of these stages and we have to allow ourselves to feel everything that we feel. Because if we don't, if we bottle some stuff up and say, well, no, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to address that because that's going to make me too angry, or that's going to make me too upset, or I don't want to think about the bad things. You're not going to fully heal. There's still going to be something sitting out there. And you may not even know it. You may think you're fully healed, and yet anger or derision or unhappiness is seeping out, and you're like, what the heck? What? Because there's something you still haven't addressed. No time limit. You may be grieving him 10 years from now, but in a different way. I'm happy that you're being allowed the chance to go through your healing process now with learning about what's happened to you as a kid, as that's coming out, as you're healing with that. And for that situation alone, I encourage you to have some professional help, but also with the grief. I think that it would be so beneficial for you to have somebody a professional touch base with at least once a week to be able to go through all this. Oh, and your mom died when you were 10. It's probably bringing up a lot of feelings then, huh? Now having both your parents gone. Um, that is not the case for me, but I have many people who I know who that is the case for. And there is a kind of finality when that second parent goes well, it is just me, or just me and my siblings now. You're definitely entering a different phase of your life when that happens. Perfectly said, Crystal. Perfectly said. Crystal says, when my mom died, I learned there was such a fine line between love and hate. It's okay to have all the range of emotions. Absolutely. 100%. Lacey, I applaud you because you have been fighting so hard to maintain your sobriety. And that's excellent. That tells me something about you. You know, you're not just saying flip all. I did it once, I'll do it again. Just, let me have this while I work through things. You're still fighting to stay sober in this. And it's so important because it keeps your head on right. We can't truly heal when we're not sober, because the aspect of not being sober, we're pushing things down and we're hiding things. We're either hiding our feelings or trying to hide from the things that we don't like, and trying to push down all of that stuff that overwhelms us. And so you can't do both at the same time. It's very difficult to do. I leave it up to your Canadian friends to talk you through all of this. AHS, I'm assuming, is part of your national healthcare system. So definitely you guys connect up and see. Lacey, 100% understand where you are. 100% understand where you are. Getting out of bed because you have a son to take care of. I was 5 when I left my son's father, and I was 5 when I had my mental breakdown and shattered into so many pieces. He was the reason that I got out of bed. He was the reason that I continued to work. He was the reason why I made money to pay the bills, to make sure that, we could live. Now, there were times where I wasn't doing much more than that. He was being taken care of, but the bare minimum. I didn't have a whole lot extra to give from me for quite a long time. But he did get me through a really dark place, and he may never know how instrumental he was in getting me back to where I needed to be. It was, yeah. And your hardest days, give that kiddo an extra big hug. Just me and my son. And some days I would go to him and I'd just say, hey, buddy, I need a hug. It didn't matter how old he is. He's 18 now, and I still can go up to him and be like, hey, buddy, I need a hug. The hugs aren't as clingy these days, which Yeah, all right. I let him get away with it, but that was the one thing I always told him from the beginning. I mean, from the beginning, from the time he was a baby, 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 I'm like, you are never too old to hug your mother. You're never too old to say, I love you to your mother. And I made sure that this happened often and frequently so that it was never something that he felt he had to hide away, you know? Yeah. Bye, mom. No, it's bye, mom. I love you. It's just habit. And his friends have actually teased him sometimes about it, just like how many times he says, I love you. But it's bye, I love you. It's the two of them go together here in this household because I firmly believe, or I firmly live by, you never know when you're going to see someone again. And if they're important to me, I want them to know it. I want them to know the last time they saw me that they knew how much I cared about them. And so that's like my one little way. You know, my parents, my son, my besties. I always end my conversations with I love you because you all need to know how much I care. Oh, you've got two. Oh, that's so sweet. Your eldest has been checking on you a little more. That is, it sounds like they're older. Spending time with them is critically important. And that's one of the areas that I fell down in the most when I was in the depths of my breakdown. It was really hard for me to engage anybody, even to engage myself, you know? I mean, literally, it was like, do what I have to do, and then the rest of the time, it would I could be catatonic practically. I might be reading or, doing something of that nature, but basically just sitting there. Nobody really home. I mean, I would talk to you, but if I had to, but I didn't really want to. A little bit of a spread, not too much. Oh, sounds like you two have a lot in common, Lacey, Janet, and you're so close to each other. Yeah, I said that to myself too. I wanted to be the parents that I didn't have, type of thing. I mean, in terms of the things that I found wrong with the parenting that I had, I wanted to improve upon, right? And I say to myself that my parents did the best they could with what they had, with what they were brought up with. I just wanted different. Unfortunately for me, having my son at the time that I had him, when I had the break, he didn't get a lot of that. He didn't get a lot of what he should have gotten from me. And I wasn't a better parent than mine. A lot of times, my parents, I think, ended up being the parents, and that caused issues because I had different rules. It just was, yeah, there's something about being a teen, right? Having them teen and just being like, it's the very end. It's the very tail end. Mine's still here, which is totally fine. I'm okay with him here for a couple. I mean, I'm fine with him for whatever. I mean, he may be keeping this place, and I may be moving out. Who the hell knows? Oh, Deaudrey, never apologize for leaving early. We know that you're in a different time zone. You got some hours on us, so please, whenever you need to leave, whenever you happen to pass out, that's good. Wish you the best in your searches. I'll give you hugs and love now, and Saturday, I will definitely have something prepared for us. Don't know the topic. I've got a couple ideas. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the week ends up. I got some big things stirring next week. So next Wednesday will be an interesting live. We'll see kind of what happens there. See what happens at the beginning of the week. I have a meeting and Crystal has a doctor's appointment. So we're going to have a bunch of things to go over just with our community in general. But then we'll definitely have something else that we'll be speaking about. I've got to remove this mouse when I don't plug it into this computer because otherwise I keep reaching for it and then I can't find the damn cursor and it annoys the heck out of me. Urgh. Happy Day is on the 5th. Happy Day is on the 5th. So I decided it just made sense. We'll just do first Saturday of the month and start off the month right? Started off on a good happy note. So next Saturday is our happy day. And we'll need it. We'll need it around here. It's big happenings next week. From Monday to Friday around here. So we're gonna have some big things. Grief and trauma, we could definitely touch on that. I will. Hey Misha, how you doing? I am going to make myself a note here while you all are here. Hang on. Because if I don't, I'll forget or I'll have it on a slip of paper. And that'll get lost on my desk. I just cleaned my desk yesterday. And my bestie was making fun of me because I found 2 packs of coupons and they were from February and March. That will be me. Yes, that will be me on Tuesday. Woo! I'm not sure if that's when you, Janet, did you mean when's my birthday or when's the day that we do the funny show? Because that's October 5th. The 1st is my birthday. So next week, Lacey, next week. Haven't turned a year older yet. I do. I turned 29 for the 23rd time. God, you made me do math. Wow. Oh, that was the wrong one. Video introduction. You mean 21? Turning 21? I was an idiot at 21. I don't know about y'all. Oh, here we go. Topic ideas. I know. Nobody told me there was going to be math. The funny thing is I really did like math when I was growing up. I was good at it too, but it's like I got out of the habit of it and I never really could do math in my head very well. And it seemed like that's everything you had to do is like in your head. I'm like, no, I need to. Little Poot, how are you? It's a name I have not seen. Welcome. Welcome to Surviving Together and to our SAS community here. So glad you're on with us. Nobody told me there'd be math. You're pregnant at 21? I was getting married at 21. You're new here? Well, welcome. We are so happy to have you. Oh, and now that I'm thinking about somebody new, let me finish this note before I get on anything else because, I'll just lose it. There we go. We saved it. Thank goodness. While I'm talking to somebody new and thinking about it, if you haven't, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, do so. Hit the bell for notifications. Hopefully, you will get notified whenever there is new material that's getting put up. Still working on those videos. And you would not believe the material I have for the true crime section. It's a lot because I keep finding things, but then I keep finding things and I keep finding things. So the researcher in me wants to put this whole thing together, like before I present it, but it's like a gazillion pieces, right? And you just keep, so I need to start presenting the pieces and getting them out there. And then I can keep going on my trail and I'll present it all to you, but I don't have to get it all done before I push it out to you. Of course, little Poot, you will find, I hope, the most welcoming community here. We're a little small group here tonight, but this is a safe space. And it's a safe space to just be. You can talk. You can talk about what brought you here. You can talk about silly stuff. It does not matter. You don't have to talk at all. You can just lurk. We love our lurkers too. Advanced maternal age. What the heck? How old were you when you had the twins? You were 37. Okay. I was 34 when I had my son. My doctor just told me I had good birth and hips. Would not have a trouble having a vaginal birth. That's what I was told. Oh. Maybe, Misha, your investigation may take you farther and get you more into Christina's case. It's her daughter, for those of you who don't know. You may find out more information. It may be in the end you're not able to. And that's when we just deal with the cards that are on the table, right? And we try and find our closure within that. I think from that aspect, I think you can really understand, Lacey and her grief with her father passing before he passed on some critical information. You both got that. Little Poot, no problem. Again, you never have to talk here. You never have to talk, whether it's coming on the channel and actually talking verbally through this, whether it's talking in the chat. There's no requirement ever. If there's things you want to talk about, but because of your daughter's situation, because of your family situation or whatever, feel free to email me, survivingtogether@gmail.com. Happy to start a dialogue that way. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough. That's rough. My sons had to deal with an alcoholic father, who the last 5 years of his life or so has been quite unstable. Married another alcoholic, and they together just self-destructed. I think I may have told you guys on last live that he got stabbed in the leg while he was sleeping, while they were homeless. They put his tibia, lower leg bone, back together, put a steel rod, and he's back in Michigan now, back home-ish. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So he's not really in my son's life, but he's not out of it. He's kind of at this weird place for my son, but I've left it up to him as to, whether or not he wants to go see him. He's an adult now, and we'll just see. Oh, love you too, Misha. Take care. Absolutely. You guys should connect if you're feeling that. Absolutely. So, Little Pooh, we are glad to have you here in whatever capacity you want to be here. And that's the bottom line for everybody. There's some days we come on here, and sometimes, it's just like, guys, I'm listening, but I just not feeling it. I don't have that luxury since I have to actually talk in it and be engaging in you guys this way. But there are days I don't want to come on. I always feel better once I've talked to you guys, though. I always feel better, no matter what. Even if we don't touch on anything that's like bugging me or bothering me, or if there's an issue, it just makes me feel like I can look at that issue and put it in perspective, you know? Oh, yes, sorry. We a lot of times will call out real names on people. If you're ever here and you're not sure who we're talking about, just shout out, I'm lost. And, we'll definitely clue you in. Yes, my son is 18. He's an adult, and he has been aware about his dad's condition since he was going over there when he was 5, 6 years old. As he grew, at first it was don't drink daddy's juice. If daddy seems too silly, call mommy. Then, we got more real, and he understood what alcohol was, what it smelled like, understood it did not great things to you. He understood not to get into a car with him if dad had been drinking his juice. Yeah, I was very upfront with him about it because I had to be. I couldn't keep him from seeing his father, yet I did worry. I knew him well enough. I knew his habits. I knew the times that he was going to be drinking versus when he might be sober. And nowadays, my understanding is he talks to him kind of on and off. Since this new wife has come in the picture, things have been rough because she really has drug him down. And, that was during his formative teenage years. So that's been harder. And I know as he grows, he's going to have to reconcile love, hate, anger, caring. He's going to have all of those feelings as well. Because anytime somebody close to you passes, I think we all do. There's things that we're upset about. Hopefully he's a pretty well-adjusted kid, I gotta say. Are there things that I probably don't know that he's, hiding in terms of the way he feels and things of that nature? Oh, definitely. I mean, 100%. I just, absolutely. And hopefully he will take himself to therapy one of these days. It's something we've talked about on and off his whole life. And all I can do is recommend. Hope he goes one day. I thank the Lord that we can do Zoom therapy nowadays because it takes the pressure off of trying to be somewhere. I mean, he could do this like straight after work and just be in his car, so it makes scheduling things and actually making those appointments so much easier. You don't have to take out, 3 hours out of your day for an hour appointment because of the time it takes to get there and get back and all of that kind of stuff. I'd never seen that. Lucky Diesel is your other handle. Crystal. Oh, wow. Lacey, I hope he does too. Thank you so much. I think we're pretty resigned. I mean, he's had help offered to him so many times. You know, he's been in and out of jail and has been through the programs, you know, life coaching and, you know, sobriety. He's been sober for periods of time in his life, you know, most recently just 2 years when he was in jail and on probation and working through the sobriety program and all that. So he can do it. It's rough. It's rough, you know, and when something happens and he needs to deal, that's where he turns immediately. And that's why I know how hard it is not to do that, and why I'm so proud of you, Lacey, for resisting that temptation up till now, because I know how hard that is when the stresses come on. So that was always the one thing he said, you know, when he'd been sober for a period of time, what always did him in was a big stressor of some sort. You know, what we would find as a trigger. And every single time. And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. My biggest concern is that this leg doesn't heal right. Because then you're in for possibly, you know, long-term chronic pain, and if it cuts down on his mobility, that cuts down on the things you can do as a job. So just, you know, crossing my fingers when it comes to that too. Oh, so much easier, Crystal. So much easier to turn to addiction and, you know, turn to drugs and then positive coping skills for the moment, right? But when that moment's over and you're back being sober, like in the morning or whenever, you know, you're back being sober, and then you go, crap. I mean, you feel even worse and you're kicking yourself and you're doing all this kind of stuff. So it just grinds you down even further, right? You're doing that to yourself. You're grinding yourself down even further. And every time you go back to it, you hate yourself a little more. And so every time that you think about a drink and you don't go for it, pat yourself on the back, applaud, do an end zone dance, you know, whatever it is. And that goes for all of you. If any of you have a moment where you're turning to what was your addiction and you don't go for it, congratulate yourself. And if you're congratulating yourself 100 times a day because it's really, really tough and you're, you know, on that verge of a relapse or whatever, then congratulate yourself 100 times a day. That positive reinforcement is what we all need. We get enough negative reinforcement from ourselves, right? It's time that we positively reinforce ourselves. Tell ourselves that we are good. Tell ourselves that, yes, we can. Tell ourselves that I got it. Be our own positive voice for once and not an ant. None of those negative thoughts that are going through your brain, right? What did you say? 6 years sober? Woohoo! 6 years sober. And Janet's 3. Congratulations to both of you. Yay. That's awesome. Fabulous. You two have a lot in common. You really do. Okay, almost 7:30 here, guys. I have still got to get some dinner and finish some work, unfortunately. So we're going to wrap up here. But if there's anything in particular you want to talk about on Saturday, let me know. I am definitely going to have a topic that we'll be talking about, but always welcome to talk about anything that you guys need to talk about. If there's no shame in relapses, there's no shame in bumps in the road, not a full relapse, just a stumble. And maybe you stumbled a couple of times a week or every day for 2 weeks. Who knows? I'm good with that. You got through it. You got to the other side and you're still sober. So congratulations. Absolutely. Congratulations. All right, to everybody out there, please, please, please remember you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are strong because you're a survivor. But most of all, you're loved just the way you are for who you are. So giant hugs and love to me, to you, to anybody who needs them. That's absolutely right, Crystal. To anyone who needs them. Ones to everybody, however you do it. I hope you guys have a great night and a great rest of your week. And I will see you on Saturday. I'm already looking forward to it. Talk to you later, guys.